Jacob, would you describe yourself as a man of principle? You've taken a principled stance, haven't you, against the EU? You've been principled against Theresa May's deal. You said it would turn the UK into a slave state, the greatest vassalage since King John. You've said all that.
That's all correct. I think the deal is terrible.
You told me in December that nothing was going to be worse than that deal.
Well, remaining in the European Union is worse.
Well, you didn't say that at the time. Well, slavery. You used language that said there would be no way back. I'm just going to repeat this because it matters, Jacob. You evoked slavery.
Yeah, we
now,
will be.
Of course, people are allowed to change their mind and we want our parliamentarians to be able to compromise. But you didn't say, well, I'm not quite sure. No, you said it would turn the UK into a slave state and then you consider voting for it. So you are going to sign up to something that will put the UK into a slave state. Well, you whipped up hatred and fear with language like that. You know what it's like to face
No, frankly,
abuse.
I didn't. That's simply not true. That if anyone's whipping up hatred, it's the BBC, who compared the ERG just last week to the National Front in France. If we're getting silly language, it's from the BBC.
I'm sorry, if you're following
Did not the BBC say that?
This deal is going to turn us into a slave state. So what do they say now?
They say it's a result at all.
By using language like that, you make a mockery of language. You make a mockery of truth.
I think
that's not what you said. You said it would turn the UK into a slave state.
Well, that's what that means.
OK. Well, I would suggest that's quite dangerous language to use if you're then going to turn around and say, actually, I can vote for it.
Well, I can.
You're a slave already. You take your whip from the DUP. You take your whip from the DUP. They're a party in Northern Ireland, and you're an English Conservative MP.
I do not take my whip from the DUP.
You're following them to see what you should do next.
The DUP provides a ticket.
Because the Prime Minister is offering you a deal that you can't vote for unless the DUP goes first.
The DUP, no.
The truth is actually that you've just been outmanoeuvred, that you're not actually a very good strategist, that you have failed to remove the PM in a no-confidence motion, and you failed to kill a deal.
But none of the British people...
It's not delivering. Dom Cummings wrote yesterday, you lot are Remains useful idiots. So you are actually delivering the opposite of what you wanted.
Well, no, I think Mr Cummings has actually said that voting for the deal will allow us to come out in the end. I think that's correct, and that the backstop is endable. And
I may narcissists.
Mr Cummings has a fine level of abuse. A moment ago you were saying you didn't approve of abuse, and now you're quoting abuse. There seems to be an element of humbug in that,
I'm just asking you what you make of somebody who says that you're Remains useful idiots, because that might be the way that it comes across. Mr Cummings was
a very effective candidate.
Well, as it turns out, Theresa May has pretty much chosen her own time to leave. Do you believe the next Conservative leader can be a Conservative, can be a Remainer? And you're back.